How can you measure the return on investment for any CRO or experimentation program that you are running? That is perhaps the hardest question that every company that runs an experimentation program or hires an agency to run a program is always asking, and people struggle with this. There are 4 ways that you can measure the return on investment for any type of CRO work that you do. Number 1 is measuring where your site's at right now after doing conversion optimization for a while. So usually after you've done conversion optimization for 6 to 9 months, you want to say, okay, so we've ran a whole bunch of experiments. The site has changed and evolved in those 6 to 9 months. We know that the site design has changed, the user flow has changed, the messaging has changed, but how about our conversion rate? The most solid way, and it is the most difficult way to actually know the exact impact, is by keeping what we call a stub. So at the very beginning of the project, you take the stub and you keep it somewhere. And then 9 months later, you come and you say, I'm going to run a site-wide test between current site design and my old stub that I've kept. Now, mind you, this is not easy by no means, and you really have to think if you want to do this or not, because running a test like that might take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks to just prepare for, and then maybe 2 to 4 weeks of running, so you are losing 2 months. But at the end of that test, you can actually come back and say, you know what, this new site design that I have had actually increased my conversion rate. That's number 1. We try and avoid it, but every once in a while we work with companies, they want to do this, and I'm like, sure, we can have at it if you want. And it's always fascinating. Number 2 is through data modeling. It sounds difficult. Yes, it is difficult. Remember, running an A/B test and looking at the results of an A/B test doesn't really tell you the actual revenue and conversion increase that you have, because not all A/B tests are created equal, and not all A/B test results are created equal. The fact that you ran an A/B test on a homepage and shows you a 10% increase, so you have a new homepage with a 10% increase, that does not mean that you have a 10% increase in revenue. I would love for it to mean that, but the reality of it, it doesn't mean that. So you need to apply some statistical formulas to that. And if you're interested in knowing more about these statistical formulas, leave a comment. I'll be glad to cover that. But at a very high level, what those formulas take into consideration is the type of page, type of test, how long it ran, how many visitors are coming to the page, the confidence level that you've ran the test to, or the statistical significance. All of these come into play when it comes to your data modeling to determine the final value. And it's not an exact final value, it's an estimated final value. Number 3 is measuring customer satisfaction with your website. There's multiple ways to do this. Very rudimentary, NPS score. Are we actually improving customer satisfaction with our site? And there's other metrics. Again, we're measuring customer satisfaction. It doesn't mean that we're measuring ROI, correct? There's a big difference between the two. People are happy, but maybe I don't have more money in the bank. Nonetheless, happier users, better usability usually translates into more money. So you want to measure that. That doesn't specifically help you measure the ROI, but it's something that I would pay close attention to. My favorite thing to do, we're going to go that route, is to actually take a measurement, usability measurements. How long did it take somebody to place an order? How many steps did it take for somebody to place an order on our website? And see if there's improvements in those metrics. Finally, you can look at your conversion rate, you can look at RPV, revenue per visitor, and then you can look at AOV and measure those. But if you're merely saying, well, you know, our conversion rate right now is 4% and it was 3.5% back then, that means that we've increased our conversion rate. That doesn't work. You need to add a bit more sophistication to your measurements, because you need to look at your traffic sources. Maybe you've increased the traffic. You've doubled your traffic when you started the work until now. And as you increase traffic, automatically your conversion rate would have dropped. So it looks to you like you've increased conversions by 10%, but in reality, you might have increased conversions by 20, 30% or something like that. So there's more analysis that you need to pay close attention to. Did we change our traffic mix? Just to make it even more complicated, you need to think about the economical situation. Everybody nowadays is worried about the recession. Guess what? Your conversion rate without you doing anything, no experimentation, no testing, automatically is going to drop a little bit. Those are the 4 main methods that we use to evaluate how much money a conversion rate optimization program helped us make. And then we look at the cost of the program, and that's why we can calculate the ROI.